Hello, friends, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime, where I like to tell the stories of the real cucuys and lloronas of the world. I'm Audrey, former paralegal turned stay-at-home mom who loves true crime. Topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. With all that being said, grab your hot Cheetos and let's get started on today's case. Antoinette Robinson was serving time in a Nevada state prison for grand theft auto when she gave birth to Xiana Lashay Kapuali'I Fairchild on July 8, 1992. Xiana's biological father was no longer alive. Xiana's name came about Antoinette combining her mom's name, Diana, and her best friend, Zena, who passed away. When a child is born in prison, social services are called. Xiana was placed in foster care until her social workers were able to track down her maternal great-grandmother, Lita Domingo, and her aunt, Stephanie Kapuali'I. From the time Xiana was just 2 months old, a 2-month-old newborn baby, up until she was 7 years old, she was raised primarily by Stephanie Kapuali'I, whom she called Mommy. She spent most of her childhood in Hawaii until she moved to Colorado in 1997. In 1999, Xiana's biological mother called saying she had been out of prison, had found the Lord, was getting married, had a job, and was ready to be a mother. 2 months later, in June of 1999, she flew out to be with Antoinette, whom she called Mother Toinette. 6 months later, she would be taken by a real-life cucuy. On December 9th, 1999, Xiana was living in a one-bedroom studio apartment with her birth mother, 30-year-old Antoinette Robinson, and her living boyfriend, 30-year-old Robert Turnbow, in Georgia Street, Vallejo, California. Xiana left her home at 7:30 a.m. to arrive at the bus stop by 7:50 a.m. for the 8:20 a.m. ride to school. The school bus usually dropped Xiana off at the same bus stop she got picked up at around 12:45 p.m. When Xiana failed to show up at home by 1 p.m., Mother Toinette called the Mare Island Elementary School and learned Xiana was not in attendance that day and never made it to school. Antoinette had not seen her daughter since the night before she went missing after they had pork chops for dinner and fell asleep watching TV. The last time Antoinette saw Xiana was on Wednesday night, the night before she went missing. In fact, the school principal, Geneva Watts, said she called Xiana's birth mom when she failed up to show up for school and no one answered. At 2:20 p.m., Antoinette called the Vallejo Police Department and reported her 7-year-old daughter missing. Xiana was described as an olive-toned skin Hawaiian girl with wavy black hair, brown eyes, and her 2 front teeth were missing. Standing 3 feet tall, weighing about 50 pounds. Antoinette told police Xiana had forgotten her Hello Kitty backpack and she was wearing a puffy purple jacket, gray sweatpants, and black boots. Antoinette's live-in boyfriend, Robert Bobby Turnbow, told police that because it was drizzly that morning, he had driven Xiana to the bus stop, which was about 3 to 4 blocks away. He added that when he dropped her off, she got out of the car and walked over to the driver's side, kissed him on the cheek, and said, and I quote, "I love you, Daddy. I'll see you after work," unquote. The bus driver told police that Xiana was not one of the approximately 10 kids he picked up that morning. 2 days later, as soon as Stephanie Kapuali'I heard about Xiana's disappearance, she flew out to California from Colorado. What she thought would be a quick trip to look for Xiana ended up being a permanent, unexpected move to the Bay Area. What Stephanie could not wrap her head around was the fact that people were lighting candles instead of looking for her baby. Stephanie soon realized that the police had the incorrect information given to them by Xiana's birth giver and her boyfriend. Bobby and Antoinette told the police they were looking for a 3 feet, 50-pound girl, but her real mommy said that her daughter was taller and slender, and 3.5 feet tall and 40 pounds. The second thing she learned, and something that almost brought me to tears when reading, were Xiana's living conditions. Xiana did not have her own bed. The tiny one-bedroom studio had a closet that was turned into Xiana's makeshift room, filled with a few toys and all of her worldly possessions. The under the stairs room in the first Harry Potter movie would have considered to be luxury in comparison to Xiana's closet bedroom, where she would sleep on a large pillow on the floor. Police were also quick to find discrepancies in Antoinette and Bobby's statements. The puffy purple jacket, gray sweatpants, and black boots were found in the studio apartment. Thus, exactly what Xiana was wearing on the morning that she disappeared is completely unknown. Robert Bobby Turnbow was a convicted felon, child abuser, and drug addict. In 1994, Bobby Turnbow was sentenced to 2 years in prison for child abuse after he burned 40% of his ex-girlfriend's 9-month-old son in hot water. Police reports state he told investigators the baby had peeling skin on the face, legs, arms, and genital area because of a sunburn, and that he and his ex-girlfriend did meth together. Another ex-girlfriend alleges that in 1995, she found Bobby taking a bath with her 5-month-old baby. Bobby told reporters that the baby was constipated, so he used his finger to try to alleviate that, and that if there was any excuse whatsoever to sexually assault anyone, let alone a baby. After failing a polygraph test, Bobby came clean to police and said he lied about taking her to the bus that morning because of his record. Then his story changed again when Bobby told police he went to his parents' home on Isa Drive in Vallejo on the morning Xiana disappeared to grab his work boots and returned to the apartment to get Xiana ready for school. Go to part 2.